Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 143rd episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and Audio Technica. I am your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, I've only got one co-pilot because Salim the Dream Abraham is currently out stockpiling Cadbury cream eggs to pelt at Fraser Anning next time he sees him down his street. But instead, we've got the more favoured member of the Hungry Gamers joining me, Miss Ellie Hart, whom we found out, Miss Ellie Hart. Welcome back. We've got another duo. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? How have you been?
I am doing good. We're doing a lot better than Dream as a whole. Outside of his Cadbury cream egg expedition, he also is suffering from tinnitus, which is all kinds of weird. I read it when he first told us yesterday as tinea. So I thought, okay, so he's got like sweaty foot rot, but he can't record a podcast. But then I realized, oh no, tinnitus. Okay, he's got ringing in the ears and whatever else. So
it is known you need comfy feet to record a podcast.
Yeah,
it's the number one priority.
Exactly. You know, you can't be shirtless and have uncomfortable feet to record. It just doesn't add up. So he is, in bed, you know, cuddling up to a couple of bags of Cadbury cream eggs, ready to do some damage. So
I really hate Cadbury cream eggs.
I tried the block. Did you see they turned it into a Cadbury block?
I saw that, yeah.
Tried it the other day. It's pretty good. So, but I don't buy in the hype. Like, people see these things as the greatest, you know, chocolate on the land, but it is not.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Not. Yeah.
Crazy people.
But I do get that this is the 143rd episode of The Hungry Gamers. My goodness. We've got 150 coming up soon. That is bananas.
Getting old.
I feel it too. It is getting out of control. I've got more greys coming out on the daily. It's scary. I had one of them
moments. That's why
moments.
I went blonde.
Yeah, I might need to
go
do
blonde,
the same.
Bleach it.
Yeah, I might need to do the same. I'll bleach the hair and the beard and just leave the dark eyebrows and see how that works. It'll be a roaring success, no doubt. A lot of abuse thrown my way walking the streets, but you know what? I'll own it.
I mean, the internet couldn't handle you beardless this week, so...
Yeah, and the photo he posted, the old Dream, bless his cotton socks, was not a good one. There's better ones of us in our prime, but that was not one of them.
He definitely went for the better one for himself, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Although he did look extremely young. Probably a little bit too young to be hanging out with you.
Yeah, it was probably debatable. You know, in some circles there could have been some question marks, but we made it through. So bless your Dream. Hopefully that tinnitus and that tinea and those Cadbury cream eggs are all festering into one big pile of fun today. Enjoy your day off, you slacker. We'll see you next week, maybe on 144. But anyway, we're here. Shall we talk? I see we've both been playing one common game that released in full, both early access at the start of the week, courtesy of our gold and whatever status member or pack that you bought it at via the Uplay store, or in full on Friday, Division 2, out and about. You loving it?
I am really enjoying it. I got the pleb edition though, so I've only been playing for, I think 5 hours tops. So, and not to mention that our lovely is Swedish. Are they Swedes, the company? They
Ubisoft?
like doing their, the one that's looking after the Division.
I think it is the Swedish arm.
Yeah, so they love doing their maintenance at exactly prime time gaming hour for Australians.
Yeah, it was, 9 o'clock last night for us or something?
Yeah, I think it was like roughly 9 o'clock, yeah. See, for the Americans, it's fine. I think it's like they're like 1 or 2 a.m. So, it makes sense for them. They're like, that's okay. I should probably go to bed. But, the Australians, we've had our dinner. We've probably like cracked open a brew. And then we go to sit down, and the game is going under maintenance.
Which, it is annoyance. It was the same. Like we've played about, I've done probably 4 or 5 hours as well. So I'm not anywhere near as deep as I did playing the closed demo. But it's
true.
so nice. it's doing all the things we love from the first one and just adding this nice extra layer of polish. Like, I think graphically it looks better. We've had a pretty good discussion, and it'd probably be almost similar if we continued today, like that we talked about when we played the demo. We'd probably have the similar kind of feelings and feedbacks. Are you still sort of a bit meh on the world? I know I was very much, I love that it's a different location. It's not snowy New York and everything. Are you still like that?
No, it has improved because there are certain environments now that we've obviously gained more access to, and they've obviously elaborated on a lot of like kind of like more florally, gardeny kind of incorporations. I think a lot of people have actually made some connections with The Last of Us, which is funny for me to enjoy that environment.
Hypocrite.
But, yeah, it was the game, not the environment. But yeah, I still prefer the snow. I still prefer the Christmassy, snowy environment. There's actually I still feel uncomfortable in certain elements where you're walking through like damp environments.
Yeah.
And there's like bugs flying around and rats everywhere, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
There is one thing that I don't like already, which was when you had to design your character. I'm sure for guys it was fine, but with girls, didn't matter what I did or what I wore, my girl just looks frumpy.
I could understand.
I want some
that.
leggings. I want some tight pants, please.
Yeah, they gave, like, I didn't sort of look at the female customization options too much, but there is a lot of options with the guy ones, and yeah, you certainly leave the character creation mode not feeling frumpy. You know, you usually just this sort of athletically built looking fellow of a various race or skin color and tattoos and facial hair or lack of. So you got some options, but yeah, I got lost in that for probably half hour on its own, as I always seem to do in these types of games, because that's me or you know, the extension of yourself for the next 20, 50, 100, 200 hours, depending on how deep the Division sinks its claws into you. So yeah, but it's good. It's good. The combat is still tight. The gunplay, love the gunplay. I love the loot system. You know, the loot shooter subgenre is certainly one of the main sort of buzzers around the gaming sphere over the last few years, and Division 2 certainly is you know, trying to take the top spot on that mantle, which is nice. Just so much to see and do.
There's like, I'm still learning about all the other little side elements that you can do, like getting resources for projects, doing bounties and such. Like all these other little elements I'm still like learning about, especially how to gain extra XP because you want to level up, obviously. I'm not finding the story too engaging.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's hard with like loot shooters, or I don't know if I want to sort of define them all like that, because you think of, you know, Borderlands is the OG loot shooter, but I really enjoyed the story and the characters. Well, in this game, I couldn't tell you who half the people's names are I met. You know, the main you know, offshoot protagonist people you're working with at the White House or in the various little sort of Division agent cell areas where, you know, you rescue that lady's daughter at the start. I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
the one that's, I think you're right, actually. You pretty well just, you know, overshot me straight away, you bugger. You were meant to not remember either.
I think it's just because it's a very, I thought it was actually a very unique name, and it actually, you know, made me think that I'm like, oh, I feel like that's a more unique name than I'm going to remember. But there are characters that are just called Emma, Kevin, and something else.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that there is, as the story progresses, you do get a little bit more emotionally drawn in, because there's just so much going on. You just run around killing stuff, getting new guns, getting XP, doing little side shoots, watching echoes, listening to, you know, holotape sort of equivalent playbacks on audio, and it's cool, but yeah, I just don't have that massive emotional attachment yet as far as the whole world and the characters within it.
I am actually finding myself, as I kind of did in Division 1, finding myself more attached to the stories that come from the echoes or that come from the voice recordings that you find. Like, there's like certain connections that you make by, you know, going into certain echoes and certain voice recordings, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The fact that you're actually hearing about the guy that made the virus as well. I did actually like the story in the Division 1. I liked diving into who made this, was it a virus? I can't remember if it was specifically called a virus or if it was like a contagion or something. But
same.
I liked it. I enjoyed the Division 1 story, and I felt like I did stick to it more. I engaged with it more. But yeah, with this one, I think I'm so focused on leveling up, getting out there, exploring. I'm so focused on that instead of engaging in the story, I'm just seeing if by doing the story missions, what I get out of it.
Yeah, which is a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
But I just find myself with this game constantly going off the beaten track. Like, okay, I've got to get to waypoint X to progress the story, but then you're running along and, you'll go down an alleyway and start looking through this other building or find some other little offshoot to distract yourself with, or, an enemy gang area to sort of take over, and constantly forking off the road all the time.
Always.
But it's great.
Constantly. Yeah, and like the general, like I guess what you would classify as a public event, I guess, where, it's either the propaganda things or the public executions or just general, hyenas patrolling or holding into a specific area. Like those constantly distract you because it's, it's opportunity for gear, loot, and XP. So
yeah.
You're always going to be continually distracted.
Oh yeah, like and I love the gear and the loot that you do acquire. Like that, it doesn't just change raw perks and skills; it changes how you look. So different hats and knee pads and backpacks and all that kind of stuff. I like that constant searching for the next new hotness to make your character look better, but also provide them with some quality buffs and skill based enhancements.
I'm finding myself hoarding again because it's like, certain missions you're going to be sniping. So you've actually got that mask where, okay, so the armor level ain't that great, but it actually gives you a high percentage of critical hit or headshots, So you're like, oh, I guess I'll keep that for now because it could be useful.
Yeah, maybe down the line.
Maybe down the line it'll be good for me. Yeah, so I'm already hoarding and it's oh God, it's so bad.
Have you been playing solo, or you been sort of squadding up, or what's been your experience?
I've dabbled. I've done a little bit solo and I've done a bit in a group. So I think that's the best thing about this game, to be honest, is that I'm not really finding any major, like, I feel like if you want to just if you just want to kind of walk around, shoot around and enjoy it, yeah, playing with friends is great, but I do feel like solo is challenging enough that you do kind of have to strategically plan out your attack, which is fine, which is what the game was essentially, I felt, why it was made and what it was built around. So I think playing it solo, it's good. It's not incredibly challenging, and then playing with friends, it's challenging, but it's not like, it's also fun.
Yeah, I like that it sort of dances that line between just mindless pull the trigger, spray and pray, to sort of shifting into more of that tactical, you need to sort of strategize about how you're going to go about taking down that group of hyenas or that, that sub boss or that main boss or whatever it is, because you can't really constantly go in all guns blazing because you're going to get downed. Like, enemies are intelligent, they'll flank you, they'll strategize, they'll try and flush you out, throw grenades, things like that. So I like that it isn't just spray and pray. It's, I got to go in there and work out how I'm going to take these bastards down.
Yeah, and even with your team, sometimes it's good to kind of take a step back and actually work with each other's skill sets and, see what, who has what skill and, at what level, and just seeing how it works. Because, you might just have a bunch of people with turrets. That can work.
Yeah.
Or, with a bunch of drones. Did you hear about a drone issue, though, where if people all had drones, it was, crashing the game?
No, I didn't see that one.
Okay.
Probably and something they need to fix.
Yeah, well, I think it's being fixed. Last night, I think there was a patch. But then I'm also hearing a lot about people saying that the leveling system, when you're going into certain areas, certain stages, that if someone is a higher level than everyone else, it's not leveling out right. So people are essentially just instant dying. So.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, I remember that from Division 1. I remember a friend of mine was like top level, and he thought, oh, I'll just come and join in and help her without announcing, and I just couldn't understand why I was getting one-shotted out of nowhere.
Just scaled everything up instead of sort of
just
balancing.
I'm like, I'm doing really well. Next thing you know, I can't even get up without dying.
Yeah,
so.
enemies just laughing at you as you throw bullets.
Tickle gun.
But I'm keen. I'm keen to spend a bit of today really cracking in and trying to get those levels up and get all that sweet loot and learn more about this universe. Because
for anyone out there that's like, for anyone out there that is wondering whether they should grab this game or not, obviously choose the system that most of your friends are playing it on. Yeah. Because this is a great game to play with friends. But so far, so good. Everyone's really enjoying it. Minimal flaws in anything, and I've heard a lot of good reports also in regards to endgame. So, and I think they're only building up more on that. I think they're already releasing a raid, and it's 8-player that they're going to be doing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it could only go onwards and upwards. So,
yeah, and any PC players, feel free to drop me a line. I'm making my hay on the PC. Just Brendan 8-bit on Uplay. Track me down on there and come carry me through some endgame content.
Help!
But also, been playing a bit more Apex Legends this week. Haven't done a huge amount of gaming. Got another win on the old Apex now. So in the last week, I've picked up 3 Ws, which feels pretty good. Really, really starting to work out the meta and the gunplay and which weapons work for me in that game. It's also which characters work for me, so I'm having a good old time with that.
Have you found that shifted, or are you still sticking with pretty much who you started with?
Yeah, it's still Wraith, Bangalore, or Lifeline as sort of the trio that I'll rotate through. I'll play them all just about identically when I'm in the game anyway, but just you got different utilities depending on who you are. I think probably overall Bangalore is probably the best character in the game though, just with her utility.
That's what I was going to say, because I was Wraith most of the way and only went Bangalore if I had to. Now I'm finding myself like gravitating more to her.
Yeah.
Now, so
just a double time, passive where you're getting shot at and your movement speed increases exponentially. Like that saved my ass so much. I still can't aim her ulti though for shit. I can barely kill anybody with that stupid ordnance strike.
Really? That's my time to shine. I've helped my team a bunch of times with that. But my biggest problem is remembering, because you're looking for what times you need it, you're looking at your ult and it's like, nah, I still don't have it yet. I still don't have it yet. So then when the time comes, you forget and you're like, oh shit, now I have it. It's ready now.
Yeah, I probably just get to that point and then just throw it out there and be like, yeah, there might be some people pushing us here. But it's so well done, and they've sort of put a launch pad in near the marketplace, which is obviously tying into the new character that they are teasing, still not confirming nor denying, that will be coming out imminently, as well as the Battle Pass. So we'll see what they do in that regard. I see you've been playing a new demo on the Switch as well.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that the Yoshi Crafted World was displayed as a demo, and at first I'm like, I don't think this is my kind of game, but I'm like, a demo, it's free, what you got to lose? Graphically, it's adorable. It's an absolutely, like, very clean, graphically made game. In regards to gameplay, I didn't like it. It was too simple. Like, obviously it's the start and maybe things are simpler there, but like there was nothing that really challenged me enough that wanted to keep on playing. Like, it just like, yeah. And I remember, was it Yoshi Island? Is that the one with the baby Mario?
Yeah.
Like,
I love Yoshi's Island. Yeah.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that game. I think I played it on PC though as an emulator because I was a Sega kid. So I didn't get like classic Nintendo.
Fair.
But playing this one, like, I just got so bored with it. And then I never read the rules, or the hints. So I was just, grabbing everything, attacking everything, anything that you could possibly aim for, I was getting it, And then by the end of the first stage, it's like, oh, congratulations, you found all the flowers, you got all this, you got all that. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't really know that those were challenges. Like, like,
you're just that good.
Just too good, guys. I'm gonna go pro in the circuit. So And then in regards to whether I'm gonna pick up this game, I am not. I'm sure there's a lot of attachment to it, and like I said, I'm not saying that obviously this game is easy from start to finish, but just in regards to challenging me enough to wanting to keep playing it, there's 1,000,001 games out there, guys. We all know it.
Yep.
So with this one, I'm gonna take a hard pass though.
Yeah, and like my thought process when releasing a demo is you're releasing that demo to try and hook as many gamers that play said demo into wanting to purchase the game. So maybe they just missed the mark with the content of the game that they're releasing that won't sell the dream enough, or maybe the game, as you said, is just not that great. I guess we'll see on full release how it reviews and feedback. But yeah, I saw it on the store the other day too, because I was looking to get my hands on some Ape Out, but I still haven't played that yet as well. But yeah, I gave it a pass, and hearing your feedback on it, I'm happy that I did give it a pass because it's sounding a little ho-hum.
Yeah, ho-hum is a good way to describe it. I can see this as a time passer, 100%. Like, I can see it as a good, like, you know, I've got, 10 minutes to spare, like, I'll play something quick. Yeah, 100%. But for me, not so much.
Not so much.
Which is, it's sad. It's sad. I was kind of hoping to relive those memories from, like, the Yoshi Island or whatever.
Yeah.
But, womp.
Hey, speaking of time passes, though, and you don't feel like playing something, I'd recommend watching Love, Death, and Robots, because they have got, I think there's 16 or so episodes. I could be way off the mark there, but they're short little bangers ranging from 6 to 17 minutes, done by Tim Miller and David Fincher, and it is such a crazy adult animated sort of series that's exclusive to Netflix. If anyone's watched, like, we were talking about it offline, anyone's watched the old school heavy metal cartoon from the 80s, picture that, but just with sort of next-gen CGI and storytelling and art styling. Like, it is so well done. There's a few pretty reputable studios behind a lot of these episodes, like Blur Studios is one, as well as sort of Axis Studios, Playtage Image Studios, Blow Studio, and a lot of these studios are doing a lot of the CGI for AAA video games and even films out there as well. So they're very well adversed in what they do. Like, some of these episodes is so pretty and so trippy and just jaw on the floor. Like, you think you're watching a real movie with some of the quality and the CGI of these episodes. There's a few episodes you could go meh and skip, but overall it's a good little experience. And the fact all of these 18 episodes stand alone, so you don't have to watch them all in a certain order. You don't have to watch them all in general if there's only a few that appeal to you. But yeah, my lordy, give it a look. I cannot recommend it highly enough.
I've definitely seen it making the rounds, and it's like, I know, like, I haven't watched it yet, so I'm looking forward to sitting down and actually watching it through. But this kind of reminds me of, like, way back when, was it the Animatrix, when they released all those little side movies?
It's like that, very much like the Animatrix. Yeah, perfect way to describe it. But, like, if you're looking for episodes to take a look at, Beyond the Aquila Rift, The Witness, Three Robots, Sunny's Edge, and Zima Blue are probably my favorite episodes from the series. All very different artistically, very different thematically. Quick heads up, in these episodes, you will see a lot of boobs and a fair amount of penis.
Hey!
A lot of penis. So, yeah, but it's so well done. I'd happily watch some of these if they converted them into their own little series or own universe expanded upon. So, yeah, it's cool. Really good little quick time sink.
Yeah, I want to look into this a bit more, because I as I was mentioning with you earlier, is I appreciate that Netflix is giving I don't know, would you call it, indie artists an outlet, essentially, like giving those an opportunity to show what they have and flaunt it. I'd love to see them, if they keep on giving kind of scenarios or references for everyone to then develop another bunch of movies, quick shot movies, and then release them again.
I'm hoping that it does have some success with Netflix and they do renew it for a second season, or, as you said, just allow more avenues for other more unique storytellers to make their way to these types of platforms. Because I love that sort of short standalone banger concept for TV and film, where you can sit down and get a full story told to you, under 20 minutes. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's so well crafted. A few of these episodes, as I said, kind of hit the mark, missed the mark a little bit, but overall, hell of a ride. We smashed it all in one sitting on Friday night. Well worth the time. Well worth the time on Netflix.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Shall we jump into a quick bit of housekeeping before we pivot into some news?
Let's do that.
Okay, so first and foremost, obviously, patreon.com/We Are 8-Bit. It's going to give you access to episode 3 of the 8-Bit cast. Episode 3 is now available for patrons at the $1 tier and above, and sees Jono, myself, Bryce, and Benny talk about one of my favourite things in the entire universe, food.
Can I just say you guys have already stirred some crap with that episode? I've already seen a bunch of stuff going down on the Twitter.
Oh, yeah. There was, I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. And it stemmed from a discussion where I don't believe you need to put butter on bread or toast before peanut butter, because I think peanut butter is creamy and spreadable enough without it. But yeah, the internet, it was a very divisive topic. A lot of for and against. I thought Rach might have kicked me out of the house because she is very pro butter with peanut butter, but I've got a hard stance without, and we've had quite some animated discussions over it. But it's all in good fun. But
I had no horse in the race. I absolutely hate peanut butter. So
damn. See, we need to get you on an episode talking about that now. But yeah, episode 3. It was a hell of a fun ride to be part of with Jono, myself, Benny and Bryce. Clocks in at about just over an hour. So give that a look if you do want to get early access. As mentioned, you get early access to the 8-Bit cast for 2 weeks at the $1 tier and above. But episode 2 is released in full as well, which sees Miss Hart, we've got Dane, and we've got Cruzy on there sharing some pretty good stories. And that is now available in all the podcast platforms. Did you want to give us a little sort of recap of that episode? Little sizzle reel?
Essentially, it all stemmed from talking about fears that you had as a kid, but then essentially still hanging around as an adult. Mine specifically being a fear of needles. This is coming from a girl who has multiple piercings. I've got tattoos, but if I go get a blood test or I go to get a shot, I have to mentally prepare myself.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I can understand wholeheartedly. Like, I'm the same, like piercings and tattoos and what have you. But yeah, there's something that's just different when you got to go draw blood or get a shot or anything else. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I can sort of get that feeling of unease as well doing that sort of situation.
Apparently I have little veins.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know either. It pisses off the nurses though.
Bugger them. Make them earn their keep.
Damn vampires.
But yeah, and we've got episode 4 dropping on April 1st, which will see myself, Dash from Dash Culture, Eldar from the Industry Podcast, as well as Sammy Deej from the Inconsolables, and our video content on the YouTubes getting together to have a good old time. So get excited for episode 4 on April 1st. Now let's quickly jump into some reviews,
iTunes Review of the Week.
So this first review is sort of an amendment from the previous review last week that we discussed from our friend Pineapple156, who dropped us a podcast review on the iTunes. Gone back in and amended it. Pineapple156, you've increased it to one giant yeet that sort of spans the entire stretch of time. If you click to read the review in full, there is 7 million E's attached to this yeet.
Nice.
And he even warned us in the headline, said, don't press more. I pressed the more and then saw this never-ending eternal yeet. But Pineapple156, you've dropped us from a 5 to a 4-star review. What in the fuck is going on, mate? Tell us why we lost that star, because I'd like to know and have a discussion about how we can get that star back. But
gotta appreciate the yeet.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe I didn't give enough love and homage to the ways of the yeet. But I'm still learning. I'm an old man now. I don't understand these things. Life is hard, and so on and so forth. But thank you.
You gotta educate Papa a bit.
Yes, please. Pineapple156, drop me a message. Show me the ways of the yeet. Let me earn that star back. And also, we got another review on the Australian iTunes charts by iTunes user Terrified_47. And the review headline reads, "These guys are pretty good." Gives us that
Nice.
5 stars. And expanding on, the review goes, like really, one of the best gaming podcasts from Australia who are part of my weekly listening rotation. Love the banter and the jokes. Keep it up, THG! Exclamation point. So Terrified 47, Pineapple 156. Thank you for taking the time to give us those sweet, lovely iTunes-based reviews that mean the world. Keep them coming, listeners. And keep those reviews coming for all the other podcasts in the hashtag 8-Bit Collective, as well as the other podcasts you listen to on the weekly, because it helps keep the emotional lights on in our hearts. We love you. But let's get into some news.
This week's news headlines.
All right. We got some quick hits. First one, which has created quite the hysteria on the internet. The Halo Master Chief Collection coming to PC and Steam.
Yeah, I actually got a lot of well, I actually didn't get a lot of backlash, but I got some backlash because I said maybe now I will finally play Halo.
It's something that I think a lot of people out there, especially in the master race, are getting very excited about. Like, Halo is the definitive Xbox franchise. I don't think anyone can really sort of dispute that, and it's cool to see that it is transitioning, obviously firstly via the way of the Windows 10 store, and getting that sort of Xbox backwards compatibility functionality there, as well as Microsoft sort of Play Anywhere functions, which is pretty cool, but also being able to purchase this pack on Steam. That's huge. You know?
Yeah.
That's a good win compared to sort of all the victories on the Epic Store lately with Metro, timed exclusivity, and Division 2 and all that. So, yeah, kudos to Steam for grabbing one of the sort of industry tentpoles and getting Master Chief and Cortana and co. on their platform for a while.
I'm actually looking forward to playing Halo now. The reason why I never played it when it first came out was because there was a guy in my class in history, and like Halo was the be-all and end-all, and he just raved about it, and any other game was shit.
He's one of them guys.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like, based on his attitude, I refused to play Halo because of him.
Justified.
Then I bought... Yeah, I feel so. And then Master Chief Collection came out on Xbox, and we all know what happened when that got released. So, it was just sitting there now. I haven't touched it. So maybe now I will finally get to play Halo.
Yeah, like...
Which one's the best one?
I'm a big 2 guy. Halo 2 I think is pretty great. Reach is all right too. Like, you've got a lot of good storytelling in there. Like overall the arcing story across all these games is really, really well executed by Bungie and 343. So I think you'll have a good time. I haven't played much of the online on the remaster of these games. Like, I played the single player campaigns of 1 and 2 again when I got as you mentioned, the collection came out. Single player was well executed and delivered, but obviously the multiplayer aspect was where all of that sort of internet hysteria and angriness came from. But yeah, it's cool. It's good to see. I'm excited to give this a crack on PC eventually and see how it's looking, see how that level of polish is running on the old 1070 in ultra wide. We'll see how that goes, but it's cool. It's good to see. We're going to start to see more of this blur, I think, between Xbox and PC moving forward, because they're talking about play your games anywhere. Whatever ecosystem you populate, play Xbox games on there. So we'll see what happens. And once this xCloud comes out, who knows? Who knows? Yeah. The next headline: Ninja gets paid $1 million USD to promote Apex Legends. Obviously, the internet gets angry.
Yeah.
Power to him. Like, the people flaming him for getting this money, like, I think that just comes from a place of jealousy. Like, he's a very successful businessman. Him and his wife sort of working together, crushing the game, doing really, really well. And at the same time, like, EA and Respawn going this way to market as far as promotion and marketing the game, it's genius. Like, we're going to see this more and more where, we see it like outside of video gaming. Like, you look at all the celebrities that endorse products and perfumes and cars and watches and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's brand recognition. And when you can attach a game like Apex that came out the day it was announced and attach yourself to the biggest streamer / content creator in the world. It's the smart way to do it. Like, I have no issues for this with anybody.
I think it's the amount, $1 million to play a game, $1 million to play a game. I guess we're in an economy where half of us, or probably more so, can't even afford to buy our own home, and someone could buy a bunch of homes now just for playing a game.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it kind of,
that's a good way to look at it.
It kind of boils in your head a little bit, and the amount of 1 million, where did that come from? Was that a negotiated term? Because obviously Ninja is a Fortnite player, and it would be safe to say that, Apex is in, combat against Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
So was this an agreed term to get him off
Fortnite?
Sorry, wording. Fortnite.
Giggity.
To get him, to take him away from Fortnite to solely focus on Apex and then put that forward, So I think, obviously there's just people that are like, meh, I hate Ninja. But then there's also just, the amount of money, how they came to that amount, and exactly how that sits in the economy today.
Yeah, I get you. I get that there is a clear chasm between, the rest of the gaming populace and someone like a Ninja. So it is, worlds and oceans between in that regard. And it is a hefty sum. Like, you can't deny $1 million. Like, as you said, that could buy several houses. That could set up people for life. And he got that for playing this game. I couldn't find any data about, the terms and conditions of said contract, where if you had to play X amount of hours or whatever it was. But yeah, it's not going to be the last time we see this, especially with this jostle for power and getting your eyes on said product or said IP. But yeah. I
mean, my biggest qualm is that Ninja has a predominantly children are his majority.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the joke is we've been saying, keep them on Fortnite so we can play Apex. But unfortunately, Apex is now a massive cheating issue. So
yeah, and I've on an unrelated note with Apex, I have been queued with randos where they are kids and they sound like they're 10 years old, and fuck me, it's a punish to play with them. Nothing against the kids on a personal level, but they're just YOLO and taking everything, pinging nothing, causing more harm than good. Get back to Fortnite, you little bastards.
Go build a house.
Yeah, go build a house and do the floss dance. Get out of my Apex. All right, moving over to that 1 million figure again, and in this regard, it ties into Beat Games' Beat Saber, which has sold now over 1 million copies. Nice little sleeper hit. Have you played Beat Saber at all?
I haven't, but I've watched a lot of content that's come out of it.
Yeah, it is a workout, and it is great. I've only dabbled briefly. I've got it on the PS4, and I'd like to invest a bit more time in it, but it is a game that it has been on everybody's lips this year. It's fun to play. I still like that they're sort of fusing Star Wars with trance beats and things like that. I think that's great, and then obviously superimposing that all into the VR realm. It's really well done to see it sell 1 million copies. Hats off to Beat Games and all you Beat Saber fans out there. At least I know that I equated to one of those 1 million copies. So, kudos. Another financial related quick bit. Turtle Beach has acquired Rocket for $17 million US. And so that is a mixture of pure cash payment, earned payouts, as well as stock. But yeah, Turtle Beach getting involved. Now they've got access to keyboards and mice. So Turtle Beach making a bit of a power play into that PC market. So
I'm not familiar with Rocket.
They do some nice gear. I'm really? A fan. Yeah, some of their keyboards and mice are really clean. Really, really nice aesthetically.
Gonna divert just a little bit. Have you heard about those ducky keyboards? Is that what they're called? They're slowly creeping into my feed. They're tiny, they're small, they've got awesome lighting, obviously, so that's what's grabbed my attention. Mm-hmm. But I'm just seeing more and more people posting about these. I swear they're saying that it's a ducky keyboard, but
have to have a look.
Yeah, I'll have to show you what I'm talking about after the pod.
Yeah, I'm with you though. Anything RGB, I'm like a
yeah.
like a young child. It's like, ooh, bright, shiny. Like, give me
The
that.
moth to lighting is just like, ooh.
Yeah. The keyboard or the mouse could be a complete dead duck, but if it's flashing cool colors in timing with me shooting bullets or whatever, it's like, hell yeah, I need this.
I'm on board.
Yeah. Something that I'm also on board with is some new controllers that were announced this past week as well. Firstly, we saw the Xbox One Phantom White controller get announced. And then about a day or two later, the special edition Alpine Green DualShock PlayStation 4 controller get announced. That Phantom White Xbox controller, I need that. That thing looks gorgeous.
That is mint.
Yeah.
Like, if I needed an Xbox controller, which I don't.
Hey.
But I would probably still get
Never have too many. I think I've got 10 around the house.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
You just showed me your Elite. You don't really need anything else anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I like them.
But that Alpine Green, though, on the PS.
It looks like you painted in arts and crafts. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't look that great. Like, I will admit, Sony have released some absolute banger limited edition controllers over the years, but this Alpine Green one, especially on the back of the love that this Phantom White controller's gotten, it's sort of very wow.
Yeah, honestly, even the name and how the color looks, it looks like your mum took you down to Bunnings and you got to pick a paint for, the lounge room, and your mum's just gone, you know what, Alpine Green looks great. And that's exactly how it looks on the controller as well.
Yeah.
Just a very
cheap and nasty
matte green color.
Yeah.
So,
I really liked I can't remember if it was called like sunburnt orange or whatever they called the control they released, but that sunburnt orange and sort of with blue highlights that Sony released late-ish last year, that was fresh. But yeah, Alpine Green sucks.
all they have to do to impress me is just keep on doing black and gold. Keep on doing that and I'll be a happy gal.
Yeah, you can't beat the simplicity. All right, so that is the mini quick hits. Let's move into something a little bit deep and potentially industry changing. And the headline: everyone is freaking out about an unfounded rumor of Sony acquiring Take-Two. This comes via way of Colin Stevens at IGN. A rumor making waves across the internet suggested Sony is in advanced board-level discussions to take over Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two Interactive. Though there are plenty of reasons to be skeptical of this rumor, especially because it comes from an unconfirmed market chatter. Initially reported by MarketWatch in a stock market overview pertaining to Boeing and Brexit, a small note about Take-Two Interactive popped up. MarketWatch has since revised the article, but the full pertinent section previously read: Take-Two Interactive software stock climbed 4.7% on rumors that Sony Corp is in advanced board-level discussions to acquire Take-Two Interactive in a mostly cash deal. That would value the company at $130 a share, according to Joel Kaluna, head of technology and media at Webush Securities. My God, the biggest publisher in the gaming landscape potentially becoming a Sony-owned a Sony-owned outlet. Like, that's huge. Like, it's all pie in the sky stuff right now, but what are you thinking if that happens?
I would be really concerned because Sony is like, I wouldn't necessarily use the term family brand, but like, they'd be overly cautious about what they'd push out, yeah? Especially if it's a direct connection to their brand. GTA is a game where you run over prostitutes.
That's true.
I mean, it's, you don't have to. It's just, you can.
You can avoid them and run over the elderly instead.
You could avoid them. But, yeah. So, I would just be concerned that they would start really PGing GTA up, if you would.
Yeah, like it's...
Like, how much involvement would they get with that,
We don't know if there is anything to this or if this would ever occur, but for it to pop up on a stock market report, it at least says to me that maybe a discussion has been had. Like, maybe it wasn't an in-depth thing. It could have been just a water cooler talk between two upper management levels at the respective outlets saying, hey, what's it going to cost to get you guys under our umbrella exclusively? But Yeah, like Take-Two, like Grand Theft Auto, outside of the Fortnites and things, like it is one of the best-selling games of all time. It continues to chart in the top 10s across every region, no matter what. GTA Online is crushing it. We've obviously got Red Dead Online in beta that's starting to gain a little bit more momentum. Red Dead Online, or Red Dead 2, I should say, sold really well. They said it didn't meet expectations, but it still sold an absolute bomb. And then you've got like things like the 2K, like 2K basketball, like NBA and things like that. Like, how would this work when NBA and WWE and all that are Take-Two owned franchises? But no doubt they'd have sort of licensing agreements where it is multi-platform. So do they own that, and then just Sony clips the ticket for a few years for that contract to lapse, and then they try and just make it Sony exclusives for WWE, NBA 2K, GTA, so on and so forth? Or do they just open it up to the market and let Microsoft and Nintendo in some regards still sort of release these games and they just get a portion of the profits? I don't know.
They could not take them from their platforms because those specific games are very niche markets of, the sports fans, of, dedicated sports fans, So to take them off respective, competitive consoles, that's just, in my opinion, that's just cruel.
Yeah.
This is absolutely cruel.
Yeah, like it is the ultimate big dick move, buying the biggest publisher in the land with some of the biggest IPs in the land and say, oh, you can only play, the next Grand Theft Auto on the Sony PlayStation 5 or whatever it is. Like, that is some, mic drop, middle finger moment to the rest of the industry, where you see Microsoft and even Nintendo talking about playing together and shared ecosystems, and we just want you to play your games no matter where you call your platform home. But then you see Sony going so far right compared to these other guys and doing things like that. Like, it'd be a power play. And like, I know, and you've got plenty of people that are Xbox fans as opposed to Sony, but a franchise like Grand Theft Auto, or if Red Dead Redemption 3 is a Sony exclusive, I know people that would have to buy a PlayStation to play those games because they are tentpole titles. So
exactly,
watch this space. Pretty juicy though.
Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto. Like, I don't know how many people know about it, but there's actually a very popular group now online that do roleplay on PC. I think that they might be able to do it on console. I'm not too sure, but I know that a good majority of people, there's like role-playing worlds now in the GTA universe, and there's tons of people that Twitch stream it. There's storylines, there's characters. I think it like pretty much stemmed from one guy being a cop and just like streaming him being a cop in the GTA universe and like the online universe. And it's incredible what people could do. So I don't know. The idea of someone just taking a hold of it all is just like,
yeah.
Maybe they're just lining pockets. If it was to happen, maybe it's just pocket lining. Maybe they won't touch anything. But,
exactly. Like, hopefully we hear more about it if it is just an unfounded rumor or if there is more weight to it over the coming months. But made for some good discussion, at least, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Something else that is generating some good discussion out in the video game sphere: Borderlands 3 announcement potentially coming March 28th. Big fat question mark. Gearbox official via their Twitter account earlier this week dropped a singular tweet with the old eye emoji and attached a graphic to it as well, which had a March 28th Boston, Massachusetts sort of highway sign with sort of desert middle America in the background. PAX announcement incoming regarding Borderlands 3. It's exciting. Obviously, PAX East is when the 28th of March is slated around. I have spoken to some people at 2K, and I cannot confirm nor deny that this announcement will be occurring on March the 28th. Read into that as you will, because I am under NDA to say anything further. But yeah, get ready for March 28th, allegedly.
This is exciting. We've been waiting for so long for the next Borderlands, and like I hope they're smart with it. I hope they do well with it. I hope they drop it at a good time. I hope the stories go. I hope they still maintain their, same style, kind of like what the Division did with, Division, where it's like it's much of the same but with some new flair. Like,
yeah, like
super exciting time.
It is exciting. Like, it's been 5 years between, 7 years between drinks, I should say. Like, Borderlands 2 came out in 2012. So it's been a long time coming. Obviously, they did the pre-sequel and done Borderlands collection on the main platforms, as well as Borderlands 2 in VR. So they have been keeping the franchise relevant. But I'm excited. Like, we talked about this, as you said before, regarding Division 2, how this was sort of the OG loot shooter. So I'm excited to see what happens with Borderlands 3, that distinctive art style, the sort of humor, that tongue-in-cheek humor, larger-than-life characters, weapons upon weapons, just general chaos, and then just the class bases. I'm excited to see if they're going to go with, the old hats of the Siren and everything else. Maybe the Berserker is a mainstay and things like that too. But it's a great franchise, and I'm excited to see Borderlands 3 allegedly get debuted at PAX East on March 28th. So get hyped. That's 11 days away. 11 days away as of today. It's March 17th, obviously, when we're recording. But Borderlands 3 coming at you. Do you think it's going to come out this year?
I mean, I want to. I want to believe it. I'd love it. But I don't know. Would Gearbox do that? Would they be the kind of people that would be like, fuck the hype, fuck the lead up. Here's a trailer. It's coming out this year. I'm hoping. I mean, there's been enough time.
I'm hoping for like an October release. Around that sort of holiday area that a lot of these big games like to get their copies of titles out in front of kids and adults prior to the Christmas hysteria. So
makes sense.
October, November, maybe Borderlands 3. I'll talk to you more about this offline, but it's pretty exciting. Allegedly, 28th of March. Get keen. Let's get it. And the last bit of news that I wanted to bring to the Hungry Table today, headline reads, Left 4 Dead studio Turtle Rock returns with Back 4 Blood. And this is by Remy Sklar over at Warner Brothers. So this is direct from their sort of press release. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment and Turtle Rock Studios today announced Back 4 Blood from the creators and development team behind the critically acclaimed co-op phenomenon Left 4 Dead. And also, to a lesser extent, Evolve. I included that bit in there because Evolve's a great game. Back 4 Blood is designed from the ground up as an original premium title and marries the best of what made the co-op zombie shooter so successful with new features and state-of-the-art technology. We've got a little quote here. It's hard to overstate what an awesome opportunity this is. We get to return to the genre that was born in our studio with over 10 years of additional experience and zombie ideas racked up in our brains, said Chris Ashton, co-founder and design director of Turtle Rock Studios. We're not resting on any past laurels. Our goal is to take all we've learned and push forward. We know that's a tall order, said Phil Robb, co-founder and creative director of Turtle Rock Studios. We're growing the team considerably because we're stepping up to the biggest challenge in the studio's history. We know this title has to stand out and we fully intend to make that happen, end quote. So for more information on Back 4 Blood, please visit Back 4 Blood, and that's the number 4, back4blood.com. So there you go. A successor to Left 4 Dead 2, you could say, but with that next-gen treatment, with a little bit more splash, a little bit more investment via way of Warner Brothers partnering up with Turtle Rock. Does this move the needle for you? Were you a Left 4 Dead fan? Do you care? Are you very much meh?
So I'm on the meh bus, only because, first of all, Left 4 Dead wasn't my main one. I think it was more Dead Rising than anything. Second of all, I mean, this is cool. Have they established that it's in the same vein as Left 4 Dead? Like, is it zombie?
Yeah.
Is essentially what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's a co-op zombie shooter, but just dialed up because they've got more experience and more money behind them and ideas.
That's where I'm kind of a bit, because we have talked about getting into, those tired spaces of overused, like
zombies.
Yeah, we've bitched about Battle Royale, although Apex have obviously fucking shut us up about that. So maybe, actually, no, you know what? Maybe they'll shut us up about zombie shooters.
Yeah.
You know, I've had enough of it. So yeah, hopefully they prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, children.
Yeah,
prove me wrong.
Like it's a cool idea. Like Turtle Rock, they crushed this genre or this IP when it first came out. Like Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2 were tons of fun, especially playing with 3 other friends. Not so much playing with your AI compatriots. When you're playing with 3 other friends, it's awesome to strategize, and then the witch comes in, or the whatever the big sort of giant warrior fat vomiting ones were, and the tongue zombie and all that kind of stuff that wraps you up and drags you away. Like it was a ton of fun, and got the heart racing, and it was cool to try and navigate these levels with 3 other friends. So we'll see. Like, as you said, it is a bit of a tired genre. Like, how can you really reinvent sort of 4-player zombie survival? How many iterations of a zombie can you come up with, or weapons and things like that? So I'm wondering if it's going to be more so just Left 4 Dead with a sexy new coat of paint and maybe some new weapons. I don't know.
Would you want them to go down that kind of dark hilarity, or would you prefer if they actually went down an angle where it was more horror-ish, like, more scary, more thriller, more darkness, more like jump scares, more,
I'd want the option B. I'd want the more grounded reality horror, bullets are scarce, one zombie bite could kill you type of thing, as opposed to you getting chunk damage from getting bitten and things. I'd love that aspect if they could explore that more, instead of the black comedy sort of vibe that they sort of did initially with 1 and 2. So if they did something like that, that'd be cool. Like it was proper survival horror where the pacing was a little bit slower, weapons were scarce. Like if you turned, look at Resident Evil 2, like if you turn that into a 4-player survival horror game, like that'd be cool.
Wow.
That'd be great.
I would be the worst teammate. I'd be curled up in the corner and say, "Cool, guys, let me know when you get to the end."
Hide in the corner with a couple of green herbs.
Yeah.
Leave me and my herbs alone. But we'll see. Like the name is a bit cringy. Obviously, they've got the 4 in there for Back 4 Blood, which I guess connects the dots from Left 4 Dead. But it just sounds like it might be doomed to fail before it's even out. Like, I loved Evolve, and I played the heck out of it when it released, but it just didn't have a good attach rate even for me.
No.
But that world and that universe they were creating and all the characters was fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. I just worry because Turtle Rock, they took a pretty big hit with Evolve, and if they do it again and sort of don't meet expectations with Back 4 Blood, that might signify the end of this studio potentially, which is never anything you want to see in this space.
No.
But hopefully Warner Brothers get behind them, throw their money and support, and make this the best zombie co-op survival shooter the world's ever seen? Question mark?
To be continued?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, just by looking at it being called Back 4 Blood, I'm assuming they're just going back to what they know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Oh, dear.
We could hope. I'm curious to see what the new features and state-of-the-art technologies they're bringing to this franchise. So we'll see. I'm guessing we'll probably get a trailer at E3 and see what it looks like, how it plays, so on and so forth. So
was Left 4 Dead really on that level? Like, I'm trying to remember. Was Left 4 Dead really on that kind of level of like E3 announcements? Like,
I think so. Yeah. The first one sort of came out without much hysteria attached, but it sort of it had a pretty good stance within the market. Like, a lot of people were playing it. It was pretty well reviewed because it was very unlike anything out at the time. I can't remember the year when Left 4 Dead, the initial one, came out, but
it feels like a while.
It wasn't like in a saturated marketplace like it is today. So it's going to be hard to stand alone. Like, you think of like is it Killing Floor? Is that the game, the franchise?
Yeah.
Like Killing Floor, what like that kind of stuff does this and plays heavily into that black comedy hyper violence really well. So let's go more grounded. Let's go more scary. Make it more survival horror. I'd be all up in that. But if it's just another co-op zombie shooter, So that was the news for the week. some interesting
Yeah.
things. That Take-Two thing could be massive, but we'll see.
I'm sorry, I'm just strictly focused on Borderlands. That was like the best news ever. Just a simple picture as well.
Yeah, March 28th. We may or may not get an announcement of Borderlands 3, but the information that I've not been provided sounds pretty promising, so get excited. Or don't, because I can't confirm nor deny. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we close off episode 143?
No. I've pretty much just going to keep focusing on the Division. So I'm going to be actually looking out for a lot of guides and content, especially when it comes to like best ways to play, good fit outs, selecting the appropriate primary and secondary. Right now running with a assault and shotgun, although I've heard some alternatives. A lot of people are saying SMGs are actually pretty prime in this game.
That's where I'm at. Assault and SMG.
Yeah, so I'm going to be delving a lot into that. So if anyone else knows any good tips or tricks when it comes to the loadout, let me know.
Yeah, hit your girl up at Miss Ali Hard on the socials. Say, hey, here's some tips and crits. Here's some tips and tricks. Or a guide.
here's some tits and crits.
Yeah. Mate, there's a new podcast offshoot.
I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, send that to me as well, please. Loop me in on that conversation. But on that discussion with the Division 2, Jono will have his Division 2 review and Half Informed up this coming week at youtube.com/weare8bit. And my Devil May Cry 5 review will be up this week as well. So some good tasty content to sink your teeth and eyes into this week on YouTube. So youtube.com/weare8bit. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe us on the iTunes. Follow us on all the social platforms at weare8bit. Patreon.com/weare8bit. Dip into your pockets, throw some change our way, and you will get some exclusive swag. I don't know if anyone saw on the socials, but all our stickers and pins have arrived, and they're going out to Patreon members only. So shout out to Rad Stickers, Australian-based sticker company that delivered, rad work. The stickers look fucking phenomenal. So
they look so clean.
They are coming out in the post and landing with you patrons out there this week. So thanks again for all your support. And this has been episode 143 of the Hungry Games podcast. Thank you to Audio Technica for always supporting us, for giving us the best gear to make us sound and hear and look and just do everything better. I have been Brendan. Find me at Brendan8bit. This has been Ali. Find her at Miss Ali Hart. Till next week, 8-Bit Nation. Much love.
Stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.